Good.
Always something. This is not what you.
No.
Better watch out. I just don't know. Stuff you got going on there.
I just threw the shirt.
Okay, let's go.
Call this meeting to order. Stuart City Council tentative agenda, Monday, August 11, 2025, 6 p.m. Council chambers. Call to order. Kirkpatrick.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
Doley.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Kaba.
Here.
Agenda approval, and I want you to listen close on this. Consent agenda, approval of minutes of regular meeting 7/14/2025 and special joint meeting of 7/24/2025. Approval of financial statements as of 7/31/2025. Approval of bills as presented. And on D, right now, I'm gonna ask everyone on the council to approve all the liquor license except the World Liquor and Tobacco and Vapor, because we have those people here, and we got Alicia there, and we want more clarification on what's going on with the business. So, I want a motion on all those except the World Liquor and Tobacco.
Mister, why are we singling out a single business here?
Huh?
Why are we singling out a single business?
We want, because Chief Reha has questions about,
This has been known for
I know.
months, and I don't think we should be singling out as that speaks a
Well,
lot
no,
about
no,
the city.
I'm saying, as soon as these guys talk,
We can go back to it.
we can go right back to it. I just don't want to do it right
So
now. I
we're just
want them
gonna-
guys to talk about it.
Are we just moving D later to the agenda?
Okay, we'll move
The whole D, then. Okay, we can do that. And correction by insert previous approved motion and minutes dated August 12, 2024. Moved by Kirkpatrick, second by Dolan. So we're
Is-
gonna wait on D then.
Is Chief Reha gonna be here?
No.
So how can we even speak to it? I make a motion that we proceed with the agenda as it's printed
Okay.
and not move anything.
I'll second that.
Okay. How do you vote then? Kirkpatrick?
No.
Russell?
No.
Doley?
Yes.
Morgan?
Kinda wish we could learn more about it.
I know.
I'm just saying, it looks bad on the city to single out a single business like this. And if the people aren't even gonna be here to speak about it, then.
I mean, you can make a different motion too.
I was just, if they're both gonna talk, I don't mind just hearing it, I guess, what they have to say, I guess. But I don't know where. Yeah. I'm gonna say no for now.
Okay. Kaba?
Yes.
So motion didn't carry, so we need another motion to approve A, B, C, E, and table D.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved in second. How do you vote? Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Doley?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yep.
Kaba?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna have Alicia speak first, and then I want the people from the business.
So we're moving 14 up.
Yeah. We got a lot on the agenda, so.
Alright, well, thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me. So I guess my consideration is what I'm asking is for the city council to look at considering an ordinance pertaining to alcohol, tobacco, and, vape dispensary products in proximity to educational establishments. There are a lot of cities that are moving to this. Stuart does not currently have any type of ordinance in regards to this, which does not safeguard any of our educational institutions, which includes our high school, our elementary here, our childcare centers, or our libraries, which are all considered educational institutions. There is concern brought to me by parents about just the proximity of that, and if we don't set a statute for our educational facilities, then, where is the city going to move with that? There's concern about the saturation in Stuart of these businesses. There are studies that link higher usage of underage, kids when these businesses are on a walking path to school, which our downtown district is a direct walking path. We've clearly paved the way with that with all of our new many cities are passing, regulations of 150 plus feet from these educational institutions. Iowa City and Riverdale out in eastern Iowa are some of the most recent ones that have begun doing that as well. My secondary concerns is after hearing essentially the business plan of what is going next to me is a BYOB golf simulator. So they'll be licensed as a convenience store, but people can then take those products into the golf simulator and drink openly as they want to. That would lead to any type of unregulated drinking. There is no one serving them per se, so it's not considered a restaurant or a bar establishment. My questions would be is there parts of the Iowa code, I know that Iowa code 123.25 does discuss the relationship of consumption on the premises, which this would, I would say, be considered the same premises because it is one business at one address. What type of license are we looking at here? Are we looking at a C where it has on premises alcohol consumption? Are we looking at a B license where it's off location retail? I guess a little more specifics in regards to this is what I'm asking for, and then moving forward for the city to consider doing some ordinances pertaining to the safeguarding of our youth and educational facilities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you guys come up here a minute? Our police chief is on vacation right now, and he just voiced he wanted to table this, but if we can get some clarification.
Yeah, so, the BYOB, that is not a true statement. We
Okay.
actually didn't even file that license, as you guys can see.
Okay,
Originally, we're starting off as a golf sim. We wanna see how the city does and how people are gonna like our establishment. And we were thinking of adding in a food sector and alcohol at that time, but right now, as we're speaking, we were just gonna do an indoor golf sim.
okay,
And then obviously in the center, we're gonna do oral liquor and tobacco. I'm sure you guys can see the signs.
yeah,
We've done this 16 times across Iowa.
Yeah.
We're in towns all the way up to Cherokee, we're in State Center, Newton, so we know what we're dealing with. We have been next to a daycare in our city of Clive. If you guys want to go check out our establishment, we are also in Adel.
Yeah.
So you guys can also just drive out 25 minutes and you'll see our Adel location. We became very close with Jim Peters out there over time, and I think what we do is a very clean cut business. And then on the left side, we didn't advertise it, but we were thinking of doing an attic insulation company. It's called Go Green Iowa. If you guys want to
okay,
jump on the website, we're actually in the establishment of bringing out the website, and we're also going to move our corporate office into that building.
okay. That's why I wanted to see
That's what
what the
we're gonna
rumors was and what the truth was, cause
Yeah,
our
yeah.
police
So-
chief was worried about if you were gonna have alcohol back near the golf simulators,
Yeah.
whether anybody has control on underage drinking back there, where you can buy the liquor up front, just go
Yeah.
back there and golf.
Well, at that point, they're obviously going to be ID'd before
Okay.
they can even go there. It's not
Okay.
like they can just take a bottle and go.
Right, okay.
Right,
I
and,
think the name World Liquor, the word liquor is what gives it that name, but honestly, it's a convenience store. Anything you find in the cases or come and go, it's what we have: juices, waters, sodas.
I've been in your
They
Adel
have-
one, so,
You know,
yeah, I
they
went over
have,
and visited,
obviously,
so.
they have liquor there too. They have beer. We might have in a slightly larger quantity, but it's the same products. And then, for example, our store 14, it's a 21 over store, all right, unless you're accompanied by your parents.
Okay,
And that's something that can be applied. Now, at that point, so if someone minor shows up, it's an easy, yeah, you gotta go, you gotta be with the parents. We
okay,
can make it 21 plus if the issue is a concern of
okay.
someone underage
Yeah.
being, and like you said, it's obviously illegal to sell liquor or tobacco products to an underage, so by law, we are required to ID anybody who
Okay.
purchases
Yeah.
products.
Right, it's not like they're just gonna be running amok, I mean, to be
Yeah.
like, the police would have any, they can go into one of our bars uptown and walk through and, check and see if there's people that are 21
Yeah,
or younger up there,
Yeah.
And we've had establishments here in town that have sold to underage people multiple times, and they still have a liquor license. They still have a liquor license. Did you guys, have an offer on your building before you guys started working on it?
Yeah,
And it didn't get sold, right?
she was interested in that,
Okay.
which I was interested in selling to her.
Sure,
Yeah.
I mean, you probably would have done it, I mean,
We
you,
would've done it, yeah.
you,
And
you,
if we knew there was gonna be a pushback, because I always, every time we come into a new town, we call the city. We call the number, we say, hey, are we able to get a liquor license here? Why else would we spend?
exactly.
You know, we got
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands in the building already. Why
Right.
else would we do it,
So,
right?
so you have a legitimate business,
Yeah.
you did nothing illegal by acquiring the building, you bought it legally.
Yeah,
Another proposal didn't go through, and now we have people working to get them redlined out of the city. You know, and I do not like that one bit.
I don't know if that's.
That
the-
is
the
exactly
case.
what's happening. Yes, we don't want you here in town. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing.
but even when we came in, we actually, we were considering doing, a hardware store. Like, we were willing to do one side
Sure.
of a hardware store. We got in touch with them, we had their franchisee models come out and see us, we talked to them. But after, with the space we had, and we looked at the margins, we might not have survived in that business.
Sure.
So that's why we decided, let's do golf sims, because we got a few golf courses around there. We got Dexter right there. We got a community of small towns that they might wanna come into Stuart and golf. I mean, I like to golf, so.
Well, I know we got one over in Casey that has,
Yeah.
is doing the same thing, and they seem to be doing pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. It's a
You
new
know,
business
and-
model that's been coming up and
Yeah.
different times.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
And we're not gonna be open super late. Our timing, our latest time, I'm thinking is 10 p.m. And if it might be even cut even shorter. So it's not like we're gonna be open till 2 a.m. like the big cities. In AW, because when we open it up, we do 10 p.m. for the most.
And when do you open?
9,
9 in the morning, AM?
yeah.
Okay.
And that's because the deliveries come and then hopefully we'll get a crowd for the golf.
Sure. Okay. All right,
Thank
well,
you for the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
currently, there is no, ordinance, for them doing what they're doing. There's no ordinance against what they're trying to do. And if, I get that, you know, if we have to vote tonight on it, we have to vote on what our ordinance is in place now. And do we look at a different ordinance or making an ordinance later after tonight? Probably should look at it again, but, yeah, I don't think that we can, you know, tell these gentlemen no for doing something wrong because they're not doing anything wrong. So I guess that's my 2 cents on everything.
Make a motion on D
Need
then?
a motion on 3D.
Can I say one other thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I've heard a lot of rumors too, you know, and I've heard people concerned with having your business come to town. That's fine, people can have concerns, I get it. I also had concerns going the opposite way too, okay? With traditionally non-retail businesses being in a traditional retail part of town. So it's cutting both ways, you know? When you have a non-retail business in a retail part of town, you don't generate those dollars like a retail business would do. So I had a lot of people approach me, why are we doing this downtown? I said, I'd rather see a building inhabited, paying taxes, and bringing money into the city than let it sit there empty. And I feel the same way about this. We just approved another police officer in this city, and if we want to try to chase businesses out and not let them have the opportunity to bring money in here, what are we doing? How are we gonna pay for it? We voted on that, we have no way to sustain that. You know, we may have 3 years of funding coming in, but after that, what are we gonna do?
That police officer position is mostly, if not 100%, paid for already by the school district. And we had originally talked that when a year was up of trying temporary help, that we would look at that full-time position. So that was already in the works, basically. So we can't use the police officer position
Another, a
as
fifth officer? Why can't you?
It's a position to replace Katie as a full-time street officer, not a.
But we were supposed to bring her back according to the 2080 agreement. Read it. If there's a staff shortage, it's in there.
Well, yeah, during times of need, but I mean, the police officer discussion is not what we're here to talk about.
I'm just saying, you know,
that-
if we do this, we gotta have a way to fund it, not just for 3 years, but for as many years, and if you think it's only gonna be $100,000 a year, you're gonna be sadly mistaken. It's
Oh, I
gonna
know
be
it's
well
not.
over that.
Oh, I
And
know.
if we don't have a way to fund it year after year after year after year after year, What are we doing? That's why we need businesses to come in. Would I rather have a hardware store? I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I really would. Myself and another council member tried to get several hardware stores come in. We almost had one, you know, and then they walked away. We almost had two. And if anybody saw the joint meeting and was here, you understand what happened to that. So I don't think we can really, you know, restrict. We have laws in place. If they're broken, you know, people are breaking laws at your place or doing something nefarious, we have a police force that can handle that, you know, but I don't see punishing a business prior to anything bad happening on that, so.
And I don't think anybody up here was thinking that, with us moving that, the agenda item, just to listen to everybody talk, I wasn't punishing them, and I know you're not referring back to me, but I wasn't punishing them by no means, but, to go back on my statement as well, I do hear you, Mrs. Guile, I do hear you. I do understand that there's kids involved as well, and your business could be potentially hurt as well, you know, if parents start removing their children from your establishment right next to, the World Liquor Store. I get that, I understand that. However, like I said, we don't have the ordinances in place to stop them, what they're doing. They're not doing anything wrong. It's a double-edged sword. I get it. I think the city needs to create ordinances moving forward. But that's just my 2 cents, I guess. But I do hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the sergeant's building. I mean, as of right now, that could be a bar. So, I mean, someone could buy that and be a bar, kitty corner to the elementary
School, yeah.
We had a liquor store a block away from the school when I was growing
Yeah,
up.
I know.
Yeah.
But if that's something we wanna look at doing, we need to put something in place
the
for
wine-
future, and they'd have to be, you know, the businesses currently would be grandfathered in or something, but.
There's a wine and pie bar that was gonna go in at one time. Nobody
Small-
said a thing.
Small downtown, there's lots of liquor license.
Yeah.
So
Probably need to move forward on D then.
motion on three D.
I'll make a motion.
I'm gonna move
I'll
with,
second it.
moved in second. How you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Kaba.
Yes.
Okay, 4, proposal to purchase property eastern half North 9th Street, and I'll have Mr. Irving talk, and then after you're done, I've got some things I wanna say on this issue.
It'll be short. It'll be short. I think pretty much presented everything that I needed to present. Hopefully you all got the letter and the proposal my wife and I made on that property. The one thing I wanna point out is, month after month, that's a net loss for the city. I don't know how many years it's been going on for, but Jim's guy, or whoever it is, the guy from the city's been in it since first July, he's been there 5 times to mow. Now, we mowed on Friday, great, but that storm over the weekend, it's full of branches, and I understand, there's a lot of property in town for the maintenance guys to take care of. I'm just trying to come to a solution that is beneficial for the city as well as us. I'm done with the frustration. What you guys decide, you decide. It's my offer, and if you're willing to take it, that's great. If not, we'll move on, and we'll still be happy in Stuart. It's not the end of the world. Just wanted to make a proposal, because it didn't seem like we were getting anywhere at all. So I just thought, well, this is an effort to do, one other thing, another step. And, so that's all I got for you. I just wanted to come up and, see if you guys had any questions for us.
Just for clarification, are you looking at the entire property or just what is in line with yours?
I'm looking at the entire property.
Were these from all these pictures, were those from you?
No, those are mine.
Those are yours? Okay.
Those are the.
I'm sorry, Dick. I
those are-
didn't know.
Those are the 3 places that they've, city's already denied.
Okay.
And look at Neil Bryan's
That's what I was
house.
gonna say.
That's Neil Bryan's.
I appreciate you
Okay.
doing
thank
that.
you.
I know last meeting we kinda ended on, if we're gonna go out there and mow half, we'll do the whole thing, cause no one wanted the property, north of Mr. James's. So,
Hey, Mr. Dolan,
kudos to you.
just from my recollection, we did say we were gonna mow it, but we also ended on the thing that we weren't gonna talk about it again, because we were gonna mow it on the street's regular schedule. Was that your understanding, Jim?
Yes. And I'd like to jump in here.
Dick, if I can mention,
Okay.
this isn't a go back and forth and not pull a power play like you did with having your brother come up the first time I came here. So I really don't care to listen to all that. I'm just asking for an answer. And if you guys don't wanna do it, that's fine. I don't want to go through all the drama. I think it's been hashed over. Everybody's able to make their own determination.
And what I'm saying is, the council referred this to the P and Z. The P and Z said, if it's adequately mowed, no more discussion on this issue. That's what the P and Z said. They said that they want Viola to have access to the south. That's exact. Go ahead, Jim.
Actually, I just talked to the adjoining property owner today, and they have just listed 7 of those lots.
Yep.
Odd size lots, they've just listed 7 of those today.
I'm just going by what she told me. I once spoke with her.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if she did it today, you wouldn't know, right?
No.
So, that's fine, I get it,
Oh.
I get that,
Fair enough.
yeah.
So we presented, pretty much all we're gonna present. I would ask Dick, how many other properties did you do this for? Put all the pictures together and write, how many other properties did the council voted on?
A
Did you
lot.
put that packet together?
I've had a lot. My father-in-law is one of them. And you wanna see what his
No, no,
place
no, no.
looks
I said,
like?
how many packets did you put together for people that come before this council in the past to ask to buy a property? How many packets have you put together? Single
You
me
said-
out.
No,
You
I'm
singled
not.
me out. Yeah, you did.
Okay,
So-
here, I'm here to speak about why we should not vacate unplatted city streets. While there may seem unnecessarily now, these streets were designed with purpose to support future growth. Vacating them closes off this opportunity. Keeping these streets open means keeping the door open for new housing development. Once gone, they're very difficult and expensive to get back. Instead of seeing these streets as a burden, we should see them as an investment, a way to ensure that we're ready to build when time comes. The Waltz, McIntyre, and Cook House were the original homes on this area. A good example of this issue of the section of the city we're currently discussing. In 1958, my father, Wayne Cook, purchased the house that is currently 819 North Main, along with 9 acres. Since then, the land has been divided and 5 new homes have been built on those lots. They include the home I'm living in, the Askren home, Bob Cook's home, Steve James and Greg Irving's home. Total valuation $16,601 would adequately help pay for mowing. Since the time the land has been divided by 5 new homes have built on the lots purchased, a total valuation of $16,000 per year. From Northeast 8th Street to North 10th, and from North Division to North Sherman, another 6 homes have been built with a total valuation of $20,832 a year. That would be the Seacrest, Gunmeyer, Egger, Jones, Small, Wolf home on there. And Smalls have 3 lots north on Fremont to build on. That Fremont Street where those 3 homes are, Jim and Josh cleaned that street years ago. All it was brush and small trees. Across where Eggers was, there used to be a gypsy wagon there, brush and debris. Same way with the Smalls lots. The area is gonna be developed, just like Jim said. She listed those lots. There'll be homes there eventually.
And Mr. Mayor, just for my time being on the council, there's been many people, Mayor included, your brother, other people, that have admonished the council several times on not to vacate streets. Now, we have sold properties.
Yes.
Okay, we have sold properties. We sold one to Alan Neal, I believe. But we kept the alley back there. We didn't vacate
Right.
that alley, just for that simple purpose, you know. And I think, Dick, you put this together kind of as a reminder that we've had at least 3 other people come up, ask for us to vacate streets and sell streets to them because they want them, and we haven't done it. you know, and that's the only reason. Because serving as volunteer council people, our memories might be a little short with everything else we got going on in our life, you know, our outside job. I get the offer, I look at this one up by Neil Bryan's, it's not kept up. You know, I don't think we have any legal obligation to keep it up, and yet our city guys do that as best they can, because we only have two now, you know? And, you know, maybe we'll get up to bigger staff here, maybe we can get 4 at some point, hopefully, you know? But I think, like you said, it is this kind of time to move on. I appreciate the offer, I get it, you
The
know?
only question I would have, Mr.
Yeah.
Cobble, is how'd that, west end of that street get vacated when the city owns up streets?
That was way before my time, I have no idea. I don't know how they did.
So, no,
Well-
you posted it, that you never sell streets. Never's a big word and it's really powerful, but you do, because you sold the west end of
Right.
that street.
But-
It's vacated.
I said in my time on the council.
Yeah.
We've had one street that got vacated since I've been on here. And it wasn't due to anything that the council did. It was due to a mistake that our city attorney did. And that wasn't us. We had it written, or we had it in our motion, that street would only be vacated if that business built here. And the way the paperwork got drawn up by our attorney, that wasn't in there. So it got vacated. We had no control. I can't speak to what other councils did. I know since I've been on here, we have been admonished over and over and over, do not sell streets because of this very purpose. I have not personally, we've not voted since all of us have been on here to sell a street. We've had multiple requests. I think you might not have been here, Craig, when Neil Bryan came up and asked us to sell him that street. I don't know if you guys were on here when Sue, I think I was on here when Sue came up, and we said no. And we've said no. As far as I've been on here for the past 6 or however many long years. And I get, you know, I just don't think we should do it, so that's my piece.
Is that?
I'll make a motion that we,
Okay.
that we don't do it, but go ahead, Corey. We can wait for a
Is
You
that
can't
second.
make
most-
a negative motion, right?
What's that?
You can't make a negative motion, you just let it die for lack of a motion, but you can't make a negative motion.
Okay. Well, is that,
Does that whole street
To
goes,
deny the proposal.
okay.
does that whole street go clear through back to
No.
that timber line?
The timber line, and then when Fremont come up, Jim and Josh cleaned it all out, because there's no access there before.
But that's actually a platted road that goes clear up there?
Yeah.
Or is that just a lot back in there?
Plot.
So if
Ninth
that,
Street is plotted.
So,
okay,
And that's what I'm saying, if Jim says they've got their lots available, the P and Z said that way Viola, whoever owns that, has access to the south if they want. A perfect example, when people say they can't build there, Askrens and Fiffen took numerous loads of dirt from my dad's farm to build up their properties before they built their house. There's a way to build up lots, well, out the new houses, look at all the dirt that's moved out there to
So,
build
yeah,
houses.
that's
So-
It would be a dead end road, is what you're getting at.
okay,
Dead.
okay, yeah.
It wouldn't go through to Fremont.
Okay,
But
Right,
the
because-
alley does go
clear through.
behind Alberta's to Ninth Street.
Okay, and like Jim was talking about, if Viola is putting lots up for sale, and if somebody buys a lot back there to put a house, can they request that the city put that street in, pave it and curb and gutter and all that stuff
I don't know about curb and gutter,
It's
but
normally on the development, Cory.
yeah.
on the developer?
Yes,
Be kind of like what we did out here for Wumble.
same thing Roy Sargent did 35 years ago, 40 years ago, where you lived.
Gotcha.
make a motion.
He made a motion, Alba.
There's-
To deny the proposal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Second. How do you vote? Patrick?
To deny, is that what you said?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
He
I
didn't,
vote.
he didn't vote.
So, yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. Morgan?
Yep.
Kaba?
Yes.
And one other thing Ash wanted me to say is that we had a tree specialist look at the tree right next to the LP tank and says the west limb is damaged and compromised, needs to be taken out, but the rest of the tree's okay. So sometime Jim says he can come down through the alley of behind Alberta's and go take care of that, or have a contractor. Yeah, it's gotta dry out, it's way too wet. Okay. 5, State Center LLC, Greg Dudley, renewal is,
It's a
let's see,
annual development agreement we have with Greg W. Olsen. We allocate $70,000 to them.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's an annual thing that we usually do. Yeah, okay.
Need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
and second, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cabo.
Yes.
And on that, are you still working with the person that's running that as far as the insurance rates were clear up for the roof and everything?
We got that taken care of last year. We got
Okay.
it.
Okay, 611 North Gain, public hearing. At this time, I open the public hearing. Did you receive any comments?
No.
Any comments, concerns from general public? Close the public hearing. B, resolution number 2511C, approving the sale of real estate to Luis.
I'll move.
Second.
Second, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yep.
Cabo.
Yes.
And after the public hearing, do you have any idea how long before the lawyers can have all the paperwork done so we can start cleaning it up?
I'll notify them tomorrow.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay. 7, general obligation, annual appropriation, bond, $475,000. At this time, I open the public hearing. Did you receive anything, Ash?
No.
Any comments, concerns, general public? Close the public hearing. B, resolution number 2517C, is taking additional action to proposal, enter in a general obligation corporation purpose loan agreement. You got any explanation on this, Ash? That just setting the date,
Yeah, that-
September 8th,
Yeah.
just a loan,
That's the loan that
yeah.
Chip presented last. couple
Okay, that'll be
meetings.
on September
The
8th.
8 million that,
Oh,
the 8 million that.
okay.
Yeah, this is just, with the 8 million, we had a public hearing for it, just a part of the 475 is the one that we needed a hearing on to finish the process. Chip
Okay.
couldn't be here tonight, but if you wanna call him, if you have any question, he's available. He explained that last meeting, when so,
Yeah. I know he prepared it and was getting it ready, so.
yeah. So that was just taking the additional action so he can finish it up. And we have a special meeting on the 25th
Okay.
at 5:30, so for your information.
So need
So we
motion.
need a motion on resolution 2517C.
I'll move that.
Moved. Second, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yep.
Cabo.
Yes.
Okay, 9, resolution number 2519C, setting a date, which would be September 8th.
We're gonna amend the urban renewal, and we're gonna have a hearing for September 8th.
Hey, Ash,
Yes,
I want to bring up what I kind of mentioned to you here a while ago
yes.
about our urban renewal. And I know we talked about it before. I know it's kind of touchy subject. However, since we're amending it, I'm going to throw it out there again because it costs us money every time we amend it. So we had talked about giving the Legion $125,000 if they ever need it, okay? And just keep in mind, that's just a placeholder in our urban renewal, okay? They could come up and ask us for us if we don't do it. If we don't have it, we don't do it, okay? It's just a placeholder. I would like to see us amend that when that comes around, put that in there, up to 500,000. And we might even do something,
I did too.
what's that?
I
We
thought
thought
we
it
did
was.
No, we did 125,000.
Oh, you're asking for an increase.
Yeah, just a
Okay.
placeholder, so it's a
Okay.
placeholder because you know, when I went over and talked to them, their expenses are pretty huge. You probably know, Craig.
Yeah.
So, and we kind of looked at 125, you know, this is just a placeholder. They could ask us for it, but we hold the purse strings, right? You know, we don't do it. They haven't asked us for it since the last time we amended it. I'd just like to see us, and we don't do that now, but, we wouldn't vote on that now. We'd vote on it at the time, right?
Yes.
At the September 8th hearing. But I'd like you guys to consider that. I'd like to see that in there.
Okay.
And, so that's all I wanted to put out there for you.
Sure. Okay, we need a motion to set a date for a public hearing on September 8th.
I'll move that.
Moved.
Second?
Second, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yep.
Kaba?
Yes.
Okay, 10, do both these or one at a time?
Yeah. 25.
Development agreement termination, A and B.
You skipped 9.
Yeah.
Oh, 9?
Yeah, 9.
Oh, sorry about that, 9. Resolution number 2519, see, setting a date, which would be September 8th again.
I'll move.
Moved.
Second.
How do you vote? Patrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yep.
Kaba?
Yes.
Can you do both of them
Yes.
at the same time? Termination of TIF, these people.
Development
Yeah.
agreement termination, we have 2 projects that we gotta terminate the.
Can we do 'em both?
Development agreement, yeah.
At
We
the
need a
same
motion
time?
for both A and B.
Okay.
Moved by
I'll move
Kaba,
that.
Second?
Second, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Kaba?
Yes.
Okay, Stuart Rescue, part-time wages.
Yes, sir. You guys saw what I enclosed in the packet there. I'm proposing essentially a $2 per hour raise for all 3 of the different levels of providers that we have. And I've been talking to Ash about this for a while, especially when we were kind of discussing overall wages across the city. This obviously goes over the 4% that the city proposed. You know, the main, it's kind of, I guess, more or less a market adjustment, if you will. I have end of last year, early this year, I had somebody call me from a neighboring county, and they were doing wage comparisons as well for their, board of supervisors, but, you know, all of them around here, especially the EMT wage is just, you know, $18.43, $15.75 to $22, $18, $15 to $21, $18.64. You know, these are all counties that sit right next to us. And so to attempt to get, you know, we go out and we wanna bring people in, it can be difficult when, you know, we're not matching these other wages. Yeah, we're not, again, just kinda like with the police, right, we're not gonna beat West Des Moines or Des Moines. So the numbers you have here would be what it would look like if we could stabilize overtime, cause that's really what kills us, you know. The 2 of us that are running as paramedics, you see right here, even at $22 per hour would be at 205,000. Right now, we're paying 216,000 if we ran the set schedule that we run, which of course is kind of difficult, but, you know, so we're already $10,000 over that after the raises. So, you know, if we can get some more people in here to say 3 or 4 paramedics, or, you know, and I should say 5 to 7 EMT drivers, you know, that really cuts down on the overtime. And it's just hard to do, because when you go out to Quick Start and you can make $17 an hour, how do you convince somebody to come work as an EMT? And don't get me wrong, those are different jobs, totally different things, but it's still, you know, even when you're preparing for what am I gonna do for the next 10 years of my life, do I go work at Quick Start, or do I go, you know, break my back and get yelled at by patients and stuff like that? So it's kind of difficult. So this kind of just levels the playing field, and hopefully we can use it to get a couple more people in here. We're actually doing pretty good on the EMTs because of this last set of drivers that upgraded, but as far as paramedics and stuff, and this also is a big thank you to them. Like, hey, thanks for dealing with the last 18 months and kind of going through this low time and this tough time. You know, here's kind of a thank you for that. So,
Do you have the sheet
I'll roll
that
in.
shows the wages of all our city employees?
Yeah.
How tough's that for us, for the council to have it right now?
Sure.
I mean, these guys are underpaid compared to most city employees.
On the bank,
Yeah, well, per hour, yeah.
Per hour.
I mean, again, it's the overtime that
Yeah.
it ends up driving up our wages, but I mean, I imagine that if you were to ask most people, the 4 or 5 of us that are working 96, 100 hours sometimes a week, you know, probably make a little less if you didn't have to be here 5, 6, 7 days a week. So that's kind of, and that also just helps the city, me, control the costs associated with this, because we can stabilize if I had, you know, like 3 full-time employees, right? Right now, it's if you can work, you work. And then if that's 100 hours, then that's 100 hours. Otherwise, you know, if we had more people available, we could say, okay, everybody max out at 48 hours or 40 hours or whatever it is to kind of limit that stuff. But at this point, it's difficult to do that because it's hard to entice people to want to put that many hours in, and they can go over to Waukee or even Madison County, Dallas County EMS, you know, even the, for EMTs in Kenora as of February, they were getting paid $17 an hour. So, you know, that's not even that far off, you know what I mean? It's not comparing it to less than more. So,
Does this include the 4% that's been added?
yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe when a meeting or 2 or 3, I don't know, they're all rolling together, but weren't we including a holistic when we were talking about, latest was the PD, but weren't we talking holistically, talking about all of our services and how we were going to increase those and how we were going to, wasn't Chip working on how we were gonna do that? And I mean,
Yes.
we're looking at bonds or how we're gonna do it and how that's gonna affect our levy. Isn't he working on that?
I mean, logistically speaking, you know, to that end, I was talking about this the other day to somebody, you know, we require 2 people to be on an ambulance crew at any given time, right? That's what's required to roll as a crew, right? So the police, on the other hand, there's 1 person on all the time, and they are great about helping out, and our guys are too. So effectively, whatever their budget would be, ours would be double, and we know if theirs is already kind of on the lower side, let's say, right? Whatever your thoughts are on that, but then double that, but that's not really the case. And I believe we can, if we can get more people in, what we have budgeted now, we won't really have to increase that very much in the near term to sustain that. You know, we're, I think, last $3.99 or something for payroll budget, and if we could get people in, even at $12, $17, and $22 per hour, you know, we might go over that sum. I mean, right now for the next 6 months, that's gonna be tough, but turnover is expensive. So again, if we can use this to keep some of these people and do that, then those overall increases, we can kind of stall it a little bit. You know what I mean? In terms of like a massive increase. And so that's, you know, $2 an hour is, you know, we can see ends up being about roughly 12% as a overgeneralization, right? But, and I think that the budgets, yeah, we can work, or I appreciate working on building it, you know, but I think even right now with what we're currently working with numbers, this, if we can use this to stabilize over time, we can certainly, work with pretty close to what we've got, so.
And Sarah, did you say you didn't hear from Marquita yet?
Not yet.
I hate to keep kicking the can down the road here, but I'd like to get some more information on this and do a little more research, on this. me myself, I'd like to just table this until the 25th meeting and get some more information and kind of check with Chip and see where we was at with everything else.
Is there, something in specific as far as information, that I can provide you or make sure that you've got the council as before, that meeting? If you're,
I just
you know,
wanna
when you say that.
visit with Chip just a little bit more on what he was working at, you know, like Mr. Dolly was talking. And to be honest with you, I get what you're saying, Sean, I really do, but, you know, we just passed for $475,000 to, well, setting a date to borrow some money. So things are tight right now. I get where you're coming from. I understand. Things are tight, you know. It is what it is, but I would just like to get some more information from Chip and see what he's thinking as well. Like he was, told us that he was kind of working on, so that's my 2 cents.
He'll be at the meeting 25th.
Yeah.
And Corey, just keep in mind, you know, and I know this is probably all you got to compare to, you know, we get compared to counties a lot with our wages, you know, and they have a lot higher population. We got 1,800 people, you know, so there's gonna be disparity in the pay, you know. If you have a great big business paying $25, $30, $40 an hour on the same type of mom and pop, they probably can't pay the same, you know. It'd be easy to compare where you just raise your prices on your goods, what you're selling, you know, and then you lose all business, okay? I think we had discussed increases for the police department to wait until our budget workshop. That might even be a longer thing, because we got a lot of stuff. I don't wanna see us get into say, well, we're just gonna do this and, well, we can raise taxes, you know, we can always raise taxes. You know, we got a couple options coming up here, you know, we got a new business coming into town, that's gonna help, stuff come up. We have a proposal to look at some lights, you know, that's a one-time cost, you know, and then get some cameras, you know, but maybe that's gonna be some revenue coming in, or a certified site. That's why we're doing these things, instead of just, well, let's just raise taxes on everybody. So I get, it's hard to compete with counties, you know, and people are gonna go, and some people take offense when I say, if you think the grass is greener, but if my job said, hey, if you wanna go there and make $30 an hour, we just can't do it, then they have to do it, you know. And I'm not saying that they'll leave, you know, I mean, I don't, it's just,
I mean,
How
I
can we compare?
agree that it is difficult, to compare to counties and the bigger services, and again, just, you know, the police go over this as well, where, this is not by any means the best paying jobs that you can get to in 30 miles. You know, I think that what sometimes gets overlooked is that we build these services and bring these businesses to town. It affects our services, the emergency services, and even just the utilities and everything like that, way quicker than we're gonna see the increase in tax revenue from Quick Start, for example. I mean, just to say a business that's already here or whatever, we're getting ambulance calls out there right away, right before the tax dollars start rolling in. So it's, if we say, okay, well, once all of this stuff gets done, we'll do something about it, you know, we've already cooked all of the people here, and turnover, as anybody can explain in any industry, whether you're a big county or a little bitty service, is just expensive. And so it just, it's an effort to hedge some of that. Like, as we're growing, as we've grown, you know, we've got all these houses going up over here on the east side of town, and those should be bringing in taxes. But again, before they start doing that, we're gonna start seeing calls out there. And so, same with police and the roads and the utilities and all that other stuff. And so this, yeah, I get it, money's tight, totally, 100%, and by all means, you know, I agree, get Chip involved. You know, I think that this is kind of something that, you know, $2 per hour again, especially in the short term, is not, you know, we're not adding 2 or 3 employees that would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, we're talking $40,000 more to the budget
So
in fiscal year.
how how many, part-time EMTs do you have currently?
I think we 6, 7 EMTs part-time, I think, right now. And that's after we just, in the last 4 months, added 5. So, they went from drivers to EMTs. And so the drivers and the EMTs are, so it's a paramedic and then a driver and or an EMT. So, and then there's a handful, 3, 4 more drivers on top of that. So they kind of fill the EMT spot. And
Sure.
the paramedics are different.
Well, I don't want you to think that I'm saying yes or no to it. I'm just, I just want to do a little more research. I didn't get my packet until Saturday, so me working a full-time job today, I didn't have a whole lot of time to ask questions. It's just tough being up here sometimes, and it's not that you missed any information. I'm not saying that. You presented it very well, and I get what you're saying. It's just our due diligence to do our research and ask some questions is all, so.
Absolutely, and that's why I said if there's any information you want from me or that I
Sure.
can provide or information that, you know, obviously Chip works with the money side, right?
Yeah.
That's the budget side of it. Probably isn't particularly familiar with running an EMS department, so, you know, just kind of whatever information I would have that he wouldn't, or, you know, whatever, or to make sure like, hey, you know, Chip, we were talking about this, you know, let's make sure we include this, or
Yeah.
look at it from this angle, or whatever, just to make sure I've got all of this
Yeah.
stuff that you guys would need, so that, you know, we can get the best look at it.
Yeah, no, you, for what you guys do, it's very important. We need the service in town, but it's just, we gotta do our homework, and I don't wanna sound like a broken record, but, just give us a little bit of time on this, that's all I'm asking out of you, just give us a little bit of time, and we'll try to get it figured out the best we can, so.
And keep in mind, the Board of Supervisors just came out with EMS being essential service again, so they're going to, that is coming. Did you know about that?
I did, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I mean,
Sure.
not to.
I'm not saying
Go ahead,
that's,
say whatever you're saying.
I'm not saying it's gonna take care of this, I'm just making, I didn't know if everybody was aware
I
on,
was not aware of that.
on that. One thing I'd just like to know sometimes too is, you know, we get these requests for money, is I'd like the department heads to kind of, what are your ideas to bring in the money? You know, that type of thing. Yeah, I'd like that to be a partnership where, you know, we got 5 volunteers that have to make the decision, but what are your ideas to bring in money? You know, is it simply just a tax, or do you have something else, you know, just, you know, I'm open to that, I don't know if anybody else is, but I'd like to know what you have thought on doing to bring in that money and generate that revenue.
I
Besides
mean, we
just
do
going
bring,
across.
you know, in call revenue,
Mhm.
between $150,000 and $200,000 a year, you know, as funds, and so then, but, I mean, I have brought proposals for generating revenue to the council, you know, and they didn't pass, and then, you know, but I'm not opposed to looking at ideas like that, right? I'm not Chip, right? So
I
there's
get
a
it.
lot of questions you can't ask me as
No,
far
I
as
know.
knowing what way we can generate revenue.
You would know better on how an EMS service could generate funds than we would,
Correct, yeah.
right? And Chip,
Right.
even,
Yeah, well,
You know,
theoretically, yeah.
you know, you would know how what you could do and implement in your business, basically that's what it is, on how to bring that funds. I know it's kind of limited, you know, to like call revenue and some other stuff, but maybe there's something else in there that I don't know, we don't know, and, I mean,
Well, we started the GEMT program, so,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
I hear you.
Just for your thought process, you know, if there's nothing there, then there's nothing there, you know, if you say, come in and say, you know what, I thought about it, there's just nothing, you know, I can take that, you know, but, yeah, if you give it a shot, and not
we-
against it, just like Corey said. I think
Can we refer this proposal to Chip and then whatever bonds he's working on?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 'cause this doesn't even bring up the, you know, $250,000 or $300,000 we need to discuss as far as purchasing a new ambulance is concerned, but, one step at a time, right?
So currently, like, what's your process to recruit? What's your recruiting process? Are you recruiting people now, or?
Right now, it's mostly focused on like local, getting people interested into the driver's spot or the EMTs or whatever, but as far as the paramedic position just because of the limited number of those in general, right? That there's every single service across the state and probably really is hiring, and so you really gotta kind of reach out a little bit further for that. And so I've hung some flyers up and talked to some people, you know, but I think one with the agency that's you guys are using to hire other people, there might be some leads there, and then just to kind of, you know, reach out, we can, for, the people licensed in, if you have a license through the state, you have a registered address, right? So if you're, I can look up by county, like see all of the registered paramedics in, you know, Madison County, Cass County, Adair County, all that stuff, and send them out a letter and say, hey, if you're interested, we're hiring, this is what this looks like, shoot an application to us and see if that would work out for you, you know. Of course, all those people are gonna have jobs, so it's kind of difficult
Sure.
to.
Right, if they're making more, try to
Right.
attract them in here, I
When
get
we're trying
that.
to pull somebody away from somewhere else, that's where the difficulty comes in.
Right,
And you said that you just put on, or 5 people just went through the EMTB class?
Correct, yes, we had 6 drivers that, went through EMT, 5 of
Yep.
them have passed license, that are now operating as EMTs for the department. We're working on the
Awesome.
6th, but he's.
Perfect.
But yeah. And we are planning on having another one in January as well, which will probably include less local people. You know, we're still gonna try and include like 2 to 4, or so of people in town here, and, that may be already working with one of the fire EMS departments, but then kind of include some of the surrounding people as well.
Sure.
Hopefully maybe to offset some of those costs.
Perfect. Thanks, Sean.
Okay.
thank you.
12, Stuart Economic Development Director Matt Funk, and then Brenda, I'd like you chip in on this on the camera too, since you're in charge of the depot, on your thoughts.
Okay, in your packet is a proposal from Steel Highway. Letter explaining the proposal.
So the only thing I saw in there from the last time that it was discussed, and maybe I missed it, was that he was going to, we get an annual payment of about $100 to kind of offset the minimal amount of electricity that is used. You know, cause I know when he was on the phone, it sounded like, well, you're just footing the bill for the electricity. So, and that's really about the only expense we'd have.
If the, internet's donated to us from Blue Valley,
Oh, okay.
they upped it and they were fine with it.
Oh, okay.
You had mentioned you had worries about drilling a hole through the building. Did you ever talk to Sergeant and ask him, since he's worked on that building numerous times, what his position is on that?
I can't say I spoke to Kevin specifically about drilling
Oh.
holes, even though everything's on a camera.
And he didn't.
Didn't really concern.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, last time we talked about this, you had concerns that nobody talked to Seed about this. Did you visit with Seed about this?
Yeah.
What was their take on it?
They were fine with it.
Okay.
And he's gonna actually look for an opening, I don't know if there are any, but he would try to look for an opening that's already there, or maybe wires or something already run in, as opposed to making a new, entry into the building somehow.
Yeah, he was gonna,
Okay.
appeared to be willing to put some effort and
Sure.
care into it.
Okay.
Okay.
So personally, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I didn't know if we wanted to hear from.
Yeah,
Brenda,
yeah, you said
Brenda, you
Brenda,
want-
so.
Yeah.
You wanna come up here and tell us your opinion? Please?
Putting you on the spot, Brenda.
Okay.
You got a real niche audience with those, trained people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, you know, if they don't know about the depot, you know, there's a little bit more tourism, maybe a little bit more money, you know, yeah, that's exactly the hope. And if it's free advertising on there and they're putting out our Good Egg Days celebration, stuff like that, you know, it's gonna hope, you know, I mean, it probably reaches a pretty good audience now, but it's gonna reach a whole different audience, you know, and bring it in, so. Yeah.
Structure part of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of these that he works with are in a similar
Yeah.
state.
Right. Right, and I appreciate you taking the time to check into the internet and stuff like that, and, yeah.
They'll draw
that's
more
cool.
tourism because I've seen numerous people over here, railroad history, and then of course I get hold of my brother and talk about what he knows about the depot and everything.
Need a motion.
I'm gonna move that.
Moved by
Thank you.
Calvo,
I'll
Also-
say.
Second, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Kaba.
Yes.
Okay, B. Talking about that one.
Yeah, in your packet was the, agreement that the Iowa Economic Development Authority is asking the city to sign with them as basically the middleman for the grant for the company. So in combination with that, the state sends out a template for an agreement to be prepared to have actual grant recipient sign as well, so what you will in your packet.
And this is the 100,000 that so many people, Woods, the Pie and Wine Bar, or Pie? Stones, that's it. Stones we're gonna get, and it somehow got canceled. They got reinstated for this new thing,
Yes.
and it's good, okay. All right, I'll move.
Okay,
Second.
second, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Kaba.
Yes.
Okay, residential blight.
Also in your packet is the light remediation program, light housing remediation program. Some time ago, we already had an application for, this is the program that, Mike Johnson first used. And the application was developed at that time and proceeded with the program. Since then, though, I was able to revise the guidelines and provide an overview. Provided some information to help clarify the program, answer questions. But because I added these documents, now it's before you again to approve. The application itself wasn't changed, but now there's guidelines and program overview and guidelines. And I also did add in a updated low to moderate income guide. And with that program we've already had, we've already used in the past.
Why did you see the need to change it
Didn't change it, I added clarification.
or add clarification?
To answer questions instead of me trying to give you stuff from up here, I wanted it documented, I wanted it down on black and white.
And the clarifications are these on the first page? Which are clarifications? What was the questions that you clarified in here?
I added a program overview and the guidelines. Essentially, the remediation program, the first one there, and the residential white housing remediation guidelines, the application. And then the affordable, low to moderate income limit guide, which should be the last page.
Were these essentially the guidelines, they just weren't on paper?
Correct.
Okay.
I think you did a good job with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So the attorney reviewed it, they didn't find any issues.
No, I move that we accept this.
Second.
Moved in second, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Kava,
Yes.
Thank you.
do you wanna go over your report? Or it's not, no.
Rumble, continues to advance, we've still got a solid case going on, still has much interest in it. The- So we're still at 18 lots, we've got one builder back out just recently, after this was made up, but.
We got
we still got
five,
strong interest.
we got 5 foundations though out there, right?
Yes, we got, five going now.
Good.
And, another 2 permits for another 2.
Good,
Good.
good.
See, the walkthrough was conducted, before, and pilot for Maginich. We had to remove the traffic control sign, that's done, repair the box out area, for sanitary sewer, that one is done, but since then, there's been another one that's been discovered that they are working on. We would file a pile of silt fence. I believe that was done. And they're currently working on installing the 2 rock chips that Forrest had mentioned in the last meeting. There's also an issue with generators and correct, yeah, if you're receiving email.
What kind of issue, Jim?
It just, fuel gauge shows empty.
Oh,
throws
okay.
an alarm of low fuel, will not let the generator start, tanks full.
Okay, I remember visiting and you saying that, I didn't know if it was something different.
That's still going on.
That's still the, okay, all right.
And then, the historic First National Bank, you see they've already disassembled 2 walls, these walls.
Pouring foundation, concrete today?
Yeah.
Really?
They started on the foundation, yeah. And that's the cap it today.
Oh,
Good.
So that is due in part to the wheels are finally printing on this year program. So they were able to do some of the demo as a safety risk and working with the IEDA and the grant to continue
Good.
develop. Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mike, good job.
Okay, 13, council chamber upgrade microphones.
These are actually 2 separate quotes, so
Okay.
we had our first meeting with the new system, we got some feedback, and people would like better sound quality out in the audience, and we're having a joint meeting. So there are 2 options here, the first one is the ceiling microphone, $5,219, would be split 50-50 between the city and the utility. And the second option would be the wireless tabletop microphones for $10,000. I did speak with a city administrator in another town that just recently had this same system with the ceiling microphone installed, and they were happy with it.
Okay, that's just what I was gonna ask, so,
And how do we feel that that'll pick up, like when we do joint meetings or the speaker out there, they're pretty comfortable that that'll pick that up clear?
They said that it would catch the room, so if someone is speaking during public forum or has a comment in the back of the room, it should pick that up too.
Okay, that's the biggest problem, people say when they're watching online, they couldn't hear the people out here.
Absolutely. So,
When we did the,
No talking.
when we talked about the last IT upgrades, right? And we paid for that, that was just cameras,
camera and all these, and came out 100% awesome.
okay, but
But the people in the back,
we just didn't know that,
yeah, we tried, that was
We
a
needed
tryout last meeting
more.
to see. And people said,
Okay.
we can't hear the people in the back and all this stuff. So.
and this is the same is this the same?
Same company, so they give us the 2 options. One, to put a mic in the middle here, that'll be hanging from the ceiling as Sarah described, or they will be putting on the tables. But the other town that Sarah checked with, the one hanging from the ceiling working just good. So,
did, I don't think the utilities have reviewed this, have they, or did they?
They will on Saturday, yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
we would just move to accept this pending.
Yes, you wanna,
Review.
you want the ceiling?
Yeah, the
5,000?
ceiling one,
Okay.
I think,
Yeah, and
Half
then
of the
we'll
price.
present it to
half,
them.
yeah,
Yes.
it'd have to be, yeah, it'd have to be split.
Yeah,
that type.
it's always split,
Yeah.
anything in the city hall is split.
So I guess, quick concern, if they hang a mic in the middle of the ceiling that's gonna be behind the projector, are they accounting for the noise the projector's gonna produce into that mic?
That's,
I didn't think it made noise.
Well, the projector's got fans.
It's gonna, you're gonna have some fan noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know the company, don't work, they would,
Don't know if that just means they have to drop it down lower, or that's a question I think we should get clarification on. I mean, we can still
Right.
approve this, but we need to make sure we have their assurance that that's not gonna be an issue, really.
good
No,
point,
yeah,
yeah,
I-
That
that's
that's
a
in
good
the
point.
design
That's a
consideration.
good one, yeah. Okay, we'll check with them on that too, maybe you'll have a solution. That's good. Good to have you do this because we have it for 15 years and it's not enough.
It's on
Okay.
occasionally, so.
Yeah, that's good, I really like it. So we need a motion, moved by Calvo,
I'll second it.
Second, how do you vote? Patrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
Yes.
Morgan?
yes.
Kaba?
yes, please.
Okay. 15, utility board reappointment. I talked to Mayor Pro Temp, and he said we should advertise that, and the application should be in by September 8th meeting.
Okay.
And then we've got,
Did we do that with the last appointees? Did we,
that's what,
there's two other ones, I didn't know if we asked for applications, we just appointed them.
I questioned that today too. So we have an August 14th utility meeting at 5:30. Special city council meeting, 5:30, August 25th. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
public forum. Do we have anything?
Good.
City council?
Okay, that's a little.